why do you go to watch a movie? Yes? Is it to listen to the story and to listen to the dialogues? Is it? If I tell you we go to a movie for a different reason altogether, if it's dialogues, we can as well hear the dialogues on the radio, right? Then why do we have to go to a movie? We basically go to a movie hall to watch the body movements, the postures, the facial expressions, the gestures, the modulation of the voice, how things are spoken of the characters in the movie. Now, if I ask you something, that after you come out of the movie hall, what exactly do you remember? Do you really remember each and every dialogue that has been told? Or do you remember how the hero had, expressed his facial expressions, or how the villain has gestured, or how the heroine has modulated her voice during one of the romantic scenes? What do you exactly remember? Of course, all of us do remember after coming out of the movie hall how the characters had spoken, how they had gestured, how they had moved. Not really the dialogues per se, except a very few dialogues, which are classic dialogues, right? So you can see that we go to a movie basically to watch the non-verbal communications of the characters. Now, here's something interesting I want to share with you. Some of you, I'm sure, must have watched the Hindi movie Pushpak of Kamal Hassan. The entire movie, through almost 3 hour movie, did not have a single dialogue or word spoken, not a single sentence. Or a more classic example, of course, every one of us must have seen a Charlie Chaplin movie. It's a silent movie. It's a black and white silent movie. But did you ever feel that you had any problems in understanding the story of the movie, the storyline, or what the actors and the actresses want to express? Have you ever found any difficulty, or after coming out of the hall, do you think that you missed something because the dialogues were not there, because the words were not spoken? I'm sure not. So that's a classic example of how a non-verbal communication can be expressed in the form of a movie. So, what are the elements that makes a movie so powerful, more powerful than a drama which is spoken or enacted on the radio? Or for that matter, when you go to a theater, on the stage, the characters play the role. There are dialogues, yes, definitely. But then we are mesmerized by their expressions, by their movements, by their postures, by their eye contacts, and by the modulation of their voices, by their volumes, by their pitch, right? So what are those elements which make these non-verbal communications in a movie or in a theater more powerful and more appealing for us? The eye contact, the facial expressions, the hand gestures, the movements, the standing and the sitting postures of the characters, the volume, the modulation, the change of pitch and texture of the voice, how the words are spoken, the touch, like one character touching the other character gently, affectionately, lovingly, or a handshake, professional handshake, for example. Or other than that, even the spacing, how close the two characters are. See, when we have seen a scene where two characters are in conflict, they are pretty close to each other, and their facial expressions express that kind of a rudeness or aggressiveness. Whereas in professional atmosphere, we find that the characters are more spaced out. In romantic relationships, they are even closer. So the space, the touch, what they dress, how they express, everything forms the components of a movie or a theater. And these are the components of non-verbal. All these are non-verbal components which make movie or a theater more powerful and more appealing. You want to know more about the subject? You can get hold of a copy of my recently launched book, Speak Without Words, Your Journey to the Mastery of Nonverbal Communication. You can get it on Amazon platform and you can go through it so that you can learn more about how powerful nonverbal communication, a role it plays in our day-to-day lives, in our relationships, in our entertainment industry as well.